What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Pace Studio here in Midtown Manhattan. We are really, really happy to have with us Shannon McNally here in the studio. She's going to play some new songs for us.
Yes.
How's it going?
Very well, thank you.
Shannon is joined by Brett Hughes on guitar, and they are going to play some songs from Shannon's new album. Came out in June. It's called Black Irish. It's your 10th album.
It is.
Amazing.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the first song you're going to do from the record for us.
Well, this is a song. Rodney Crowell produced the record. Great Rodney Crowell. And he actually wrote this song for the record, too. So I love that about him, and I love that about this song. And anyway, Rodney's sort of, we're both big Jessie Mae Hemphill fans. I lived in North Mississippi for a long time, and so that stuff's all very near and dear to my heart. And so this was sort of a bit of an ode to Jessie Mae Hemphill.
All right.
Ready? Mm-hmm. All right. 1, 2. Made me feel for you. Made me feel for you. Made me feel for you what you want me to. Things you say. Made me feel for you. Made my knees go weak. Made my knees go weak. Made my knees go weak. Put me up a tree. Made it hard to speak. Made my knees go weak. Didn't wanna go there, but you called me on a Saturday. Now you made it hard for me to just get up and walk away. Got up in my blood. Got up in my blood. Got up in my blood. Thick as Memphis mud. Feel you like a flood. Got up in my blood. Didn't see it coming, and I sure don't wanna see it go. I don't know where you were there, and now you know I can't say no. Broke it down for me. Broke it down for me. Broke it down for me. Made it plain to see what I made to be. Broke it down for me.
Thank you, guys. That's some sick restraint.
Way to fade.
Yeah, fade. Yeah, not restraint. I'm saying I'm losing the word.
Vibrato.
Resonance. Anyway.
Yes.
Thank you for that. So you mentioned Rodney Crowell was heavily involved in this album in some of the writing and some of the producing and some of the gathering of the musicians.
Yeah.
How you've made records for years now.
Yeah.
How did he kind of change your process, or what did he bring to it that you might not have had before?
Rodney is a true wordsmith. He's very, very specific. I mean, there's down to the syllable. And so he sort of intensified the way I look at, one, being an artist. I sort of had to even sort of take it up a notch in my own eyes, myself. I've worked with amazing people, but Rodney was fairly hell-bent on just enough's enough, Shannon. Recognize yourself. I'm not wasting my time with anybody who's not a true artist. So take that and smoke it. Put that in your wheelhouse and stop doubting or whatever. I don't know that I really doubted myself ever before, but he clarified that even more so. And as a songwriter and just as a song interpreter,
Yeah.
and he brings, when Emmylou Harris and Townes Van Zandt are your best friends, and Johnny Cash is your father-in-law, and you're married to Roseanne Cash, his particular set of expertise and thought patterns,
Yeah.
really just had a way of reflecting deeply into me, and to the point that it was just nice to like kind of co-pilot but give up the reins altogether.
Yeah. Well, I know that there was, he brought one element to the project, but this is still it's your record,
Yeah.
and it came from a personal place. I think there was some hardship in the last few years that I think maybe you drew from on this record. Is that something that, obviously not the specific events, but are you an artist that is able to really mine darker times for your best stuff?
Well, I don't know. The jury's out on that. I like to be in a place of peace and balance so that I can actually kind of be mindful and notice things.
Yeah.
I had some really. I had to help my mom die, and that was a long, grueling process. I was simultaneously getting a divorce, and I have a small child. So it was kind of an emotional logjam there for a while. So,
Yeah.
it was pretty dark. And then, you struggle as an artist for so long through so many records, and that feeling that, well, you're just invisible no matter what you do. So all of that compounded. I don't know that I think it took a very special partner and producer to kind of like say, okay, come on now, take the best parts of that. But really, I think the best parts of that are to come, because as I kind of come through the other side and am feeling kind of calm and I've made peace with everything, all of a sudden now I feel lots of inspiration. I feel lots of songs. They're everywhere, and things are kind of glowing at me and coming out of the darkness. So, light and dark is you have to have both, obviously, and you have to embrace the darkness too. That's the other thing I had to kind of come to terms with, like not fight the darkness and just go,
Let it in.
okay,
Yeah.
I like the dark. Okay, I'm fine. Nothing too scary in the dark. Sometimes the light's a lot scarier.
That's right.
Sometimes I really don't want to see everything that the light's going to show. So.
What's a
yeah.
good segue to the next track from Black Irish? What's this next one going to be?
Well, how about we do? Well, either one of them will work. We could do Ben Shimon.
Well, that sounds great.
Let's do Ben Shimon. So this is one I wrote with Rodney, and the other really nice thing about Rodney, my buddy on this one, is that, he's got 4 daughters, a couple ex-wives, and he's surrounded by really amazingly strong women. And he's got a great, he has just a really wonderfully evolved sense of ego. So, like, he's got just enough pushback, and, he doesn't take anything lying down, but he comes at things without an ego, which, as a woman in the business, we don't have to go through gender and the 360 degrees of gender, but it's exhausting, and everybody's got their thing that's exhausting in their life. But I think as we move through time and all of these things start to really become clear, just between gender and personality and then just the body you were actually given, and then the combination of all of those elements. Rodney sort of helped me. He I had written this long song, and he kind of edited it down. which everybody needs a good editor. But he was the right man for the job to kind of help me get this pinpoint my experience as a woman. So it was very nice, yin and yang. But this is called Banshee Moan, and a banshee is a character from Irish folklore. It's sort of a female spirit entity that comes for the soul of the dying. And of course, you know, because it's Irish folklore, it's pretty scary and it's loud and screechy, and it's kind of a combination of fate and paradise and hell all rolled into one. Come in with the fog. There you go. Well, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Trouble if you will, stubble if you won't. So you watch what you see, watch what you do. You keep thinking someday they're gonna see the real. 60 cents on a dollar, more than makes you wanna holler. Take your smarts till you know, it's how they make you feel, girl. You wanna beat them to the punch, wanna trust every hunch. 'Cause in the mirror there's a girl who's trying to make it. Like the wild winds sway for your Magdalene and your Jezebel. Woman, weep for your sisters gone. Let the names live on with a band. There one day you turn a corner, find your doubt goes back, burn. No dismissal implied, is where your sanity lies. So you've come through fire, set your sights high, find a merciful moon, not a moment too soon. Woman, weep like the wild winds sway for your Magdalene, yeah, your Jezebel. Woman, weep for your sisters gone. Let the names live on with a band.
Thank you, guys.
Good.
That's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
So, getting back to the record, I know that there are several original songs like the two that you just played, but you are also known as a great interpreter of songs. And there are songs on this record by Stevie Wonder and Robbie Robertson and Muddy Waters, to name a few. I'm wondering, as an artist, what you take out of interpreting a classic song that maybe is different from the process of creating one from scratch. Why do you love doing that?
Well, as if you love American roots music, the American catalog, then you're sort of part of the folk tradition, and all of the folk tradition is about singing great songs. And so on this record, I was in a really dark place, and so I wasn't overloaded with new songs, because that's not where they come from for me. However, I do think that at the end of the day, we talk about music as content now, and that it rubs me hard every time I hear that, because it's still their songs, and what makes a song important is that other people sing them.
Yeah.
And so I feel like may the best song win. I appreciate we all have to make a living. I get it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's almost impossible these days as a songwriter.
Yeah.
So I get it. But I also think that if we don't sort of you just gotta keep planting the seeds. And I was part of the house band for the 25th anniversary of Music Cares a couple of years ago, and Bob Dylan was the honoree, and he spoke for about 45 minutes, and he talked about his songwriting process and said, if you want to write songs like I write, then listen to so and so and listen to so and so, because all I did was listen to them and write, and then I wrote my song. And I thought, as far as I'm concerned, if he's fine covering songs and Willie Nelson, and when those are important, those songs, and so you kind of got to put your money where your ASCAP check is. I love ASCAP. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love ASCAP. They're good to me, but I think it's at this point it's like recycling. It's like water bottles. It's like so many things that if we don't make small decisions all day long that add up to something on a planetary level. And I think about songs the same way, and great songs they need to not be forgotten. Because at the end of the day, you can only reinvent the wheel so many times.
Yeah, and you're making that new connection with a listener every time, right?
Absolutely.
Same as you would with an original.
Absolutely, and for them it's brand new.
Yeah, right. And interesting you mentioned Dylan, because I know Dylan, I think of a guy who started in a place that he's not necessarily associated with and came to New York and plugged himself into what was happening there and became an interpreter of that. And you're kind of the same way. You're actually from around these parts, the East Coast.
I grew up on Long Island.
On Long Island, and but you lived in the South for many years now.
I've been there a long time, yeah.
And so was that a necessary component to becoming the singer and the performer that you are?
I think so. I don't know about just the South, but I do think that as a student of American music, there's no way around spending time in the Delta or New Orleans or Austin or Nashville. I think the whole you gotta move, you gotta travel,
right. As the song goes.
The song goes, and it's a long trip. It's about patience, and it's about songs, and it's about feeling. It's about feeling and experiencing and all of those things that happen in all these different places. All this, if I'd stayed in New York my whole life, New York's a little island. It's a very small place.
It is. Feels big, but it's pretty small.
It feels enormous, but it's tiny, and I know how you could stay here forever and feel like you understand the world, but until you really really actually live in small towns. You kind of can't. It's so much if it gets lost in translation, you know. And then just how it feels to move all the time, you know. And if you have that bug, then it's not an easy bug to live with, but.
Yeah, but conducive to a lot of musicians for making art.
Yeah, I think it's just momentum makes, you know, it just motion makes, I don't know, inspiration.
So you're going to do one more for us.
We're gonna do one more.
From Black Irish.
Yeah.
What's that one going to be?
We're going to do this one called Black Haired Boy, and that's a Susanna Clark song. Susanna was married to Guy Clark, and she was very dear friends with Townes Van Zandt, and I didn't really know a lot about her. After a couple of months of singing the songs, I said, you know, Rodney, I don't really know much about her, and basically she was married to Guy, but that whole group of Texas songwriters, they were very competitive one another, you know, and they all tried to one up each other. But she was the high water mark. If she liked a song, that song kind of won. It's total bro club, you know. I mean, it's just. They were all trying, but they were all in love with her. They all loved her, and I thought, man, that's so cool. I mean, yeah, I want to be a great songwriter, and I'll always write songs, but if I can be the muse to an entire generation of incredible songwriters, hey, I think that might be cooler. So, and I love that she loved them all so much because, I mean, talk about a group of beautiful, beautiful, just heart-worn people, you know, and just they lived it, they suffered for it, and they died with it, you know, and so I admire that, and they were just beautiful artists, and she loved them in real time, and I like that about her. So this is called Black Haired Boy. This is she wrote this about Townes Van Zandt, and I'm sure a few others. She's a black-haired boy, some confusion, makes no excuse for the things he's using. He's gentle and a wild child of the mountains. His words are for singing, his days are for counting. He's looking for a home, he's scared to find some lady beside him. He's drunk on white wine. He's the devil in the morning, the savior at night. Tomorrow he cares over whatever is right. Lonesome and high are the things that he feels. Cards that he plays, the ones that he deals. He's looking for a home, he's scared to find some lady beside him. He's drunk on white wine. Well, it's one of the chances you're entitled to take. He's one of the hearts that it's too late to break. I've seen him be sad, he'll never know why. I've seen him fall down the line, stand up to cry. He's looking for a home, he's scared to find some lady beside him. He's drunk on white wine. Some lady Some lady beside him is drunk on a white wine.
Thank you. So that was 3 songs from Black Irish.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's gone by this fast. You have, so the album is out in June.
Yes.
And you're on tour. I know you've got a show coming up Friday night here in New York City at the Rockwood Music Hall.
Yep.
One before that as well, I think.
Yeah, in Tarrytown with Rodriguez.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, very, very.
Yeah, we have 2 shows with him. One in Tarrytown and then one in Connecticut. Bridgeport, Connecticut, yes.
And then I think the rest of the dates are on ShannonMcNally.com. So
yeah,
everyone can go
we're
there.
heading to Europe October for 3 weeks in October. So we'll be in the UK and Ireland, and then Germany, Sweden. We're gonna get very close to the North Pole.
Do they like country music up in the North Pole?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah?
Actually, Norway and Sweden. I mean, we're talking some very literate music fans.
Oh, you know, I was actually just having this conversation with a guy named Sam Outlaw, also a Nashville guy. He was saying the same thing. His records actually do better
Mine too.
in Europe than they do here because there's just this love and fascination with Americana in Europe. They know more about it than we do, you know.
Yeah.
So they say. But anyway, the album is Black Irish, and check out Shannon McNally on the road Friday night in New York City, and find her dates on her website, ShannonMcNally.com. So thank you so much for coming to the
Thanks
Pay
for
Studio
having
and playing with us today. Brett Hughes, thank you as well.
You bet, my friend.
And, come back anytime.
Thank you. Will do.